All rise. We will wait. Please be seated. We will swear.
Thank you very much. Witness, welcome back. Mr. Khan.
Mr. President, I'm grateful. We'll have to go, with your leave, into private session for the next segment.
Next segment, how long now?
Well, it will be at least 10 or 15 minutes, and then I'll come into public session with your leave for a little bit, maybe 5 or 10 minutes, and then have to go again into private session.
Private session.
I'm grateful.
All rise. We will wait. Please be seated. We will swear.
Thank you very much. Witness, welcome back. Mr. Khan.
Yes, I'm grateful, Mr. President. I can see that there are members of the public gallery that are following proceedings, and I must apologise to them that we'll have to go, with your leave, into private session.
Mr. Ken, we've been in private session far too long pursuing this thing. Quite frankly, I don't know where we're going with it.
Mr. President, indeed, but the defence will be the first to be criticised if information relating to a prosecution witness leaks into the public domain, and for that reason prudence requires that we deal with this questioning of the next topic in private session.
Would it be a continuation of where we were before, that line of questioning?
Mr. President, very briefly, and then moving on to another topic. In fact, in relation to the second matter, I'm actually happy to go into public session. The reason for the caution in relation to that matter is the prosecution started out in public session using the PIS, but then for the remainder of that topic, the bit about the person number 10, but the remainder of the testimony was in private session. And so, Your Honours, I'm content for it to be led in public, but I don't want to be interrupted, nor do I want to put the witness at any risk at all.
Right, the point I make is if we are returning into private session to pursue the subject matter that we've been in private session all along discussing, we would expect you to wrap up that subject.
Yes,
very quickly.
I'll follow the instructions of the bench.
Yes, a private session.
We're back in open session, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Mr. Khan, proceed.
Witness, I was asking you about a dead person you saw on the 30th of December, you say, 2007, person number 10. And you've told the court that you received a call and you went and saw the person's body lying in a pool of blood. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you also say that you saw the cuts to the face. Is that right?
Perfect, Your Honor.
Blood all around him?
I'm not remembering very well.
How many cuts to the face?
I cannot count.
And you told the prosecution you could see the machete marks. Is that right?
That's what I told them.
Yes. And that's what you could see, machete marks to the face?
If I can still remember very well, Your Honor.
Yes. And then you said that you told the prosecution you and others took the body to the mortuary. That's right, isn't it?
No, I didn't do that, Your Honor.
Do you remember telling the prosecution that? And, Mr. President, it's OTP tab 13, Ken OTP-0028-0973 at 0976, and he says at line 78. So we cannot identify that a scream, because everyone was screaming. We took the body of that.
My binder is not working. Where did you say it is? What line?
Prosecution's tab 13.
Yes, line what?
Line, one can look at line 89, is directly on it, 85 to 89. That we took the body of that redacted, number 10, to the mortuary. Then I went away. So witness, is that true or false? Did you take the body of that
the family
number
members.
10? Did you take the body of number 10 to the mortuary and go away or not?
It was the family members.
Yes. But were you there when the body of number 10 was taken away?
Around that time, yes, Your Honor.
Yes. So, quite a startling event, you see, isn't it? A man lying in a pool of blood with these machete marks.
Yeah.
Quite a dramatic scene that you witness. A man lying in a pool of blood.
It is, Your Honor.
Yes. Now, I want to know what time it is, because
It was in the evening, my dear. Your Honor, around maybe 6 or somewhere there.
about 6.
Yeah.
About 6. And after that, and remember in public session, and you can use the PAS form in front of you, after you saw the body being taken away, where did you go? And you can look at the PAS form, sir. Where did you go?
My place, Your Honor.
Right, okay. So that's place number 7, is that right?
Yes.
Right. And you have a clear recollection of the event, is that right?
If I can remember, I have, Your Honor.
Yes. Your Honours, I would seek to refer to the defence binder, tab 90. Witness, are you aware, in fact, that person was dead when you saw person number 10 on the ground? The person was clearly dead, is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Witness, are you aware that person, in fact, died on the 31st of December?
No, Your Honor.
Are you aware, in fact, the person wasn't taken to the mortuary, but taken to hospital?
That is your position, Your Honor.
Well, let me show you some documents, witness, and it may help refresh your memory. And to be shown inside the court only, at tab 90, I'm looking at an OTP document, Ken-OTP-0080-0170, and that can be placed on the screen for the witness. And witness, it's and Your Honours, I don't think there's any danger talking about the hospital. It's a document from Moy Teaching and Referral Hospital, an inpatient invoice in the name of person number 10.
Yeah, let's be careful now. the witness can look at that and see whether that refreshes his memory. He can read.
Yes. Witness, can you see...
Yes, I can see, Your Honor.
The name of the patient, don't give the name, but can you see the name of the patient written there?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's person number 10, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, thank you. And you see under summary of services rendered, I won't give the amount.
Wait.
Yes.
Careful, Mr. Ken. The proceed. If I think you can, what's on the screen inside the courtroom, and once it's done, you can ask him questions. I think it's safer to proceed that way.
Yes. Witness, can you see, but Your Honour, I have to prepare a transcript record as well, and that's why, in my respectful submission, if I simply read what is in the third column under summary of services without giving the details as to the charges, it can't possibly be said to reveal the identity of the person number 10. Your Honour, the important bit is the second part after the and. Witness, can you see, have you seen that document?
I'm seeing that document.
Right. And you see the date of admission?
I can see, Your Honor.
You see a ward number, don't give the ward number. Can you see a ward number?
Yes, Your Honor.
And there are wards inside Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital, aren't they?
Yes, Your Honor.
Where people are treated?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes. And then you have a date of admission?
Yes, Your Honor.
31st of December?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you have a discharge date? Same day, 31st of December, discharged. Can you see that?
This is not true, Your Honor.
Yes. I'm not saying he was discharged, the person was discharged alive, but can you see a date of discharge?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes. Now, we can go over to tab 91. Well, let's go straight. In fact, let's leave tab 91 and leave tab 92, which is a well, look at tab 92. It's a death certificate. It's a Ken OTP-0080-0172. Can you see that? Well, it's not on the screen, so I'll have to wait a moment. And witness, you see it's a permit for burial, Republic of Kenya, it's a copy of an original document. It states, can you see the name of the deceased person? Don't say it out loud, please.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's person number 10, isn't it?
Yes, Your Honor.
And it gives the gender in column 2.
Yes, Your Honor.
It gives, if you can read it, an age, and it gives a date of, at number 4, date of death, 31st December 07. Can you see that?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you can see under usual residence, can you make that out? It's Yamumbi.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, thank you. And again, that's a prosecution document. And then if we just go over to tab 93, again another prosecution document, there's a certificate of death. And it's Ken OTP-0080-0173. And it's a certificate of death. It gives a number. It gives... Now, can you see the name of the deceased? Don't give it again. We're still in public session.
Yes, Your Honor.
Person number 10.
Yes, Your Honor.
It gives a date of death, doesn't it, on the left? Can you see that? 31st, 1207.
Yes, Your Honor.
You can see a place of death written.
Yes, Your Honor.
Where is the place of death? Can you read it, what it says? It says Moi Referral Hospital, doesn't it?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then residence is Yamumbi.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you see that that document is signed, isn't it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right. So I'm putting to you witness, you've seen that person number 10 was admitted into a particular ward for treatment at Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital on the 31st of December. Tragically, the person did not survive, and he died at the hospital. And that's what the prosecution's document, the certificate of death, shows, that he died on the 31st of December at Moi Referral Hospital. Isn't that right?
According to that, Your Honor.
Yes. But you remember being there very clearly?
Remember, Your Honor.
So you couldn't have been in Ziwa, could you?
In where?
You couldn't have been in Ziwa on the 31st if you're with number 10, who died on the 31st.
No, Your Honor, the person has already died the previous day.
Your Honor, I'll move on. The bench can make any assessment in due course. Mr. Witness, I'm now going to move on to your... Your Honor, I'd ask to... Mr. President, I'd ask to have these documents exhibited. Your Honour, relevant in this regard is that the witness has recognised the name of person number 10, recognised the internal indicia of reliability, namely the place of Yamumbi. They are prosecution documents. The provenance comes from a prosecution witness who has direct knowledge of the facts contained therein. Your Honour, in those circumstances, we say that the prosecution cannot say, when they've relied upon this evidence as part of their disclosure, that there's no indicia of reliability or that otherwise not relevant. They clearly are relevant to an important part of the case, namely the veracity of the witness's account when it comes to the 31st of December being present in Ziwa. And I'd ask that the documents be exhibited.
Mr. Garcia.
We have no objection, Your Honor, in respect to what the witness has been able to confirm on these documents.
Ms. Parkman.
We have no objection.
The documents are admitted as the next Ruto defense exhibits.
The confidential document KEN OTP 00800170 will bear the number EVD T D09000318. The confidential document KEN OTP 00800172 will bear the number EVD T D09000319, and the confidential document KEN OTP 00800173 will bear the number EVD T D09000320.
Thank you.
I'm grateful. Mr. Witness, I'm going to move now to the 31st of December, and you gave an account to the prosecution regarding being present at a Harambe in Ziwa. Do you remember that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, you gave an account to the prosecution that Mr. Jackson Kibor gave an envelope. You remember that?
Yes, Your Honor.
You don't know what's inside that envelope, do you?
You cannot know unless somebody announces what was there.
And you don't know whether or not the envelope actually was given by William Ruto, do you?
I can take it because of announcement that he said.
But you have no direct knowledge of your own whether or not that, if it was said at all, it was true or false.
If he said this is from Mheshimiwa, can confirm that.
Yes. Witness, just try and think very carefully and try to separate your guesswork from your actual knowledge. Do you understand the difference?
I understand the difference.
Yes.
It's not a guesswork, it's the truth that I'm saying.
Yes,
and I've been saying this all the time.
Yes. So you've told the court, and the court has heard you, and they will decide upon it, witness, that you say Jackson Kibor in Ziwa said an envelope had been given by Mr. William Ruto.
Yes, Your Honor.
What I'm asking is that apart from that, you have no direct knowledge of whether or not that is true or false. That must be right, isn't it?
Yeah, if himself he say it was from Mheshimiwa Ruto, then that one I can say it's okay from him concerning that. If it was a lie, then I cannot confirm.
Now, you say that you're sitting in a cafe when Mr. Kabor is speaking. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
In fact, you're outside, but in a cafe, but in the open air. That's right, isn't it?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you said you're, what, 60 metres away or thereabouts?
I think so, Your Honor.
And Mr. Kabor was sitting under a tree.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes. Now, this tree, you said, is very close to the District Commissioner's office. That's what you say, isn't it?
Yes, Your Honor.
In fact, it's within throwing distance of AP lines, isn't it?
Yes, Your Honor.
And by AP lines, I mean a base for administration police. Isn't that right?
Exactly.
Your Honours, I'll seek to go to tab 189 of the Defence's second binder. And if we could go to, well, the ERN starts, but I won't show all of them. It starts Ken D09-0043-0532. But let me just do a selection. Let me go to 534. And if that could be put on the screen for the witness, please. Sorry, I'm not seeing it. Is it on my screen or it's not loaded?
Mr. Khan, the document is a bit heavy for e-court. It will take a while.
Okay, thank you so much. Witness, can you see that?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's Ziwa, is it not?
Yes.
And can you see the cafe you were at? Is it?
I cannot see it. Seems to us behind there, Your Honor.
Behind that, and that's the Ziwa Eldoret Road, is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right. And we can maybe, can we zoom in on it? Okay, let me go to another picture, maybe you can see it more clearly. Ken D09-0043-0535. Can you see the cafe any clearer here?
Yes, Your Honor.
But where is the cafe?
I can say this cafe, if it was this cafe or not, because the DM's office is on the other side. But I don't know which side is this were taken.
Yes. So if the DC's office is closest to the...
It's in the other side, Your Honor.
Yes, if the DC's office is on closest to the camera, and then that's the Ziwa Highway, and then this is on the other side, is that right?
Yes, Your Honor. It's in the other corner. The DC's office next to, not far from the church.
All right, witness, looking at the picture now, you're saying the other side. Would you say the DC's office is to the left or right, looking at the picture?
It cannot be seen, it is in the other side.
Okay. Let me do this, and let me go to the first photograph, perhaps. And it's the one at 0532. Zero 532. Well, perhaps I can move on because I'm really running out of time. Can we get any of the photographs in that sequence up, or is it just that particular one, if I could ask? Mr. President, perhaps I can give the witness hard copies with the court's leave.
Certainly.
Yes, unfortunately they're not coloured, but I'll hand them up separately so the court can have a record of what the witness is looking at. Firstly, I'm going to give the witness with the court's leave 0532. Ah, it's there. Witness, can you see that picture? That
Yes, Your Honor.
do you recognise that building?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that what you say is the DC's office?
Yes, Your Honor.
In fact, that's the Chief's office, isn't it?
Yes, a DO's office.
Yes. And some of those officers, and then again to the left of it, in almost like a quadrangle, are buildings. Is that right? There's another building like that parallel to it, closer to the camera.
I can see this one, but I cannot still remember the site properly. It's long since I was there.
Okay, let me move on. And if we have any luck with the photograph, we can also look at uh, 0537. Otherwise, I can give you a copy of that, witness. Okay, in fact, I'll give you 0539. Can you see that, witness?
I can see that.
That's the view of the, well, that tree. Do you recognise that tree?
Yes, Your Honor.
It's under that tree that you say Mr. Jackson Kibor is speaking. Is that right?
I'm not sure if it is this area, Your Honor, because I'm seeing some more houses here. We cannot confirm.
Can we try and pull up that 0539 on the on screen? If the witness is looking at what I'm looking at.
I'm seeing even some other houses which I've never, if I cannot remember very well, Your Honor.
1 second. Let's see if we can pull up 0539. Assuming that's very important for Mr. Khan, right, Mr. Khan?
Mr. President, perhaps the time is better served to show the witness another photograph.
0542.
0539 seems to be loading up.
Right, so while that's been done,
If you take us to another place,
well, Mr. President, what we can do is two things at once, if possible.
here it is.
Yes. Witness, do you recognise that tree?
I can recognize, Your Honor.
Mr. Jackson Kibor was under that tree, was he?
I'm not sure if it was this, Your Honor, because it was actually next to DO's office. But here, they have taken only one side, which I cannot even confirm.
So, Mr. President, we'll go with your leave then to 0541. And I can give the witness a hard copy. And if it comes on the screen in the meantime, we can move to the screen. Witness, this is a different perspective, and you'll see, when you get it, the tree. Can you see the tree now? Is that more helpful?
I can see, Your Honor.
And to the left of that tree, you see a building, don't you?
Yes, Your Honor.
That building is part of the AP lines, isn't it?
Yes, Your Honor.
And at 90 degrees to that, off the photograph, is a building of approximately the same size that you say is the Chief's office, or the DC's office. Is that right?
What do you mean 90
There is a
degrees?
place here, Your Honor, if I can describe. The DO's office was somewhere, and then some cafes down there. That's what I can remember, Your Honor. This picture, I cannot know how to read it.
Okay, witness, seeing that picture, if you could try to help us.
Yes.
You can see the DC's office, You can see the AP lines to the left. You can
Yes,
see
Your
a
Honor.
tree in the middle.
Yes, Your Honor.
Behind you see some buildings. Can you see that?
Yes, Your Honor.
If one was to look, if you could imagine being there at Ziwa now, and you turned more to the right, you would see other little shops and kiosks, wouldn't you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Where were you sitting?
There is some shop down there, not even, I cannot remember the picture properly. Let me be excused for that side. But the place is this side, not up the road.
The point is, you're very clear, that's the tree.
I can not, maybe it is this one or what, but I cannot still remember the shopping center properly. Yes. But the TO's office was up there, and then the cafes was down.
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Khan, it will be your responsibility to, if you want to make anything of this part of the testimony,
Yes.
capture on the record the witness's gesticulations and what he's trying to describe.
Yes. Mr. Witness, I would ask that the document at tab 190 be placed on the screen just for the inside the courtroom. And perhaps we'll come back to the photographs. So there's a sketch at 190. Ken D09-0043-0543. If that could be put up, and in fact we can even maybe use the smart board for the witness to mark. I'm running out of time. Witness, can you see that
Yes, Your Honor.
sketch? And Your Honour, can the bench see it?
It's quite faint, but if the witness can see it, perhaps he can. We'll see. Don't you have a better document than this, Mr. Khan?
Well, Mr. President, we have a good document. It's in the binders, but I think when it's been put onto the smart board, there's been a deterioration in the quality, but the document in the binders is quite legible. Mr. President,
yes.
if I can give the witness a hard copy so that it can be looked at. And if it can be put then on the Elmo and the witness can mark it.
Yes.
Witness, can you see that sketch?
Can see it, Your Honor.
Okay, now, can you see on the extreme, well, at the left side, top left, it says Ziwa. Can you see that?
Yes.
Below it says shops. Can you see that?
Yes.
Then in front of the shops is written pedestrian area. Can you see that?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have to speak in front towards the microphone. am I
Yes,
correct?
Your Honor.
Yes, and then it says Kitale Road, brackets tarmac.
Yes.
And then the right, it says open field. Can you see that?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then a tree. Can you see that?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then it says elders seating place. Can you see that?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then open field, and then to the right you can see written fence. Can you see that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then AP line. Can you see that? And then to the right and to the north of that there's another building sketched divided in three: chief, armory, assistant chief. Can you see that?
Yes.
And in brackets, chief, middle one says cell, and then DO's office. Can you see that?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then above that it says Moyburn Road, dirt road.
Yes, Your Honor.
Right. And right at the bottom, shops after the dirt road. You can see that. At the bottom of the page, shops, brackets, owned by Alex. Can you see that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right. Now, is this an accurate sketch of the area you described in your testimony regarding Ziwa?
Yes, it is, but I don't know. I cannot see where it was a cafe.
Yeah.
Where I cannot describe now where exactly the cafe was, but it was not up there,
Right.
but somewhere.
Okay. Well, let me leave that for the time being. But you accept that the tree is very close to the AP line.
It is.
Yes. In fact, using the courtroom as a template, it's probably from where I am to where the prosecution is sitting.
Yes,
Isn't that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
So from the defence bar table, front of the defence bar table to the front of the prosecution's bar table, and that's the distance between the tree where Mr. Jackson Kibor was and the AP lines. That's right, isn't it?
Yes, that can be possible, Your Honor.
Now, a witness, the AP, the administration police, that's part of the office of the president, isn't it?
Yes, Your Honor.
The president was President Mwai Kibaki, is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you say that Mr. Jackson Kibor said, told people he had Tuguk, T-U-G-U-K.
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
Tuguk means things.
Yes.
Yes. And from that, you're saying that those things, well, could it have been humanitarian matters, humanitarian items? Is that possible?
That's not possible, Your Honor.
You see, witness, and you say that that event, that Harambe, was announced on Kass FM, don't you?
I've said.
Yes, and you also said that Mr. William Ruto was expected to be the guest of honour at that event, is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
And that was announced on Kass FM, that's right, isn't it?
If I can recall, Your Honor.
Yes. And the whole event that was advertised on Kass FM and that William Ruto was due to attend, that only lasted 20 minutes, that's what you're saying. From beginning to end, you say it lasted 20 minutes, it was all over. That's your evidence, isn't it?
That's what, that by the time I was there.
Yes. Because when you came, you said Mr. Kibor was sitting down under a tree, and then you described seeing Mr. Isaac Meyer, you say,
yes.
Mr. Fred Kapondi, you say, and you say Mr. Jackson Kibor.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you say the whole event, from Mr. Jackson Kibor sitting down to standing up and various people speaking, the whole thing took 20 minutes.
I say that the shortest time, Your Honor, just approximation.
You see, witness, I'm putting it to you that you're making up entirely your presence at Ziwa. Do you understand me?
You are not true, Your Honor.
And it's a complete fabrication by you, isn't it, that there was an announcement that Mr. William Ruto was coming to an event in Ziwa, and the whole thing is over in 20 minutes.
It's not a creation, Your Honor, as you suggest.
And are you aware, on the 31st of December, what was going on in Nairobi?
I was aware, but that's why Ruto would never come.
Yes. And I put it to you, not only did he not come, it was never announced, and there was never an Harambe, as you've described, on that day. Do you agree with that or not?
I cannot agree, Your Honor.
And apart from Mr. Fred Kapondi and Mr. Jackson Kibor, and you've described Isaac Meyer being there, you say, you don't see anybody else give money except the people you mentioned, isn't that right? An envelope from Mr. William Ruto, you say, some money from Mr. Jackson Kibor, and then something from Mr. Fred Kapondi.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's it?
I can say some people, but when they were saying some other people were never announced it properly.
So you didn't see any other people give money besides the people you mentioned in court on Monday?
I'm saying there's other people who are lining up, but I didn't mention them.
Yes. Well, witness, let's go
so Ken,
back.
are you done with the sketch?
Yes,
on the Irma?
Mr. President.
Okay.
Mr. President, I'd ask for that to be exhibited. The witness has accepted. It's a accurate reflection, particularly and most pertinently to us, the distance between the tree and the proportions between the tree and the AP line. And I'd ask that that be exhibited, please.
Did he say it is an accurate reflection?
Witness, looking at that sketch map again, Mr. Witness, the sketch map to your left. Mr. Witness, looking at the sketch map again,
Yes.
Is that an accurate reflection of Ziwa town?
It's almost the same, Your Honor, because I can see the Ziwa Road, Ketala Road, and I can see Moipen Road.
Yes, thank you so much.
I can confirm it's almost. Yeah.
Mr. President, I'd ask for that to be exhibited, please.
We will we'll hear from Mr. Garcia.
Your Honor, there are some additional issues, actually, because I see here on this sketch that there is some testimonial evidence as well, an indication of elder seating place that's on the sketch. I have no idea where this information comes from, so it's not strictly a map. The indication of where the chief, the armory, assistant chief places are, it says, indicates 2007. Are we to assume that the person who put that information there is saying that this would have been accurate in 2007 or now? As well, you see Mays complex at the top, and it said owned by Alex, sold by Alex. I have no idea what that information is doing there. As well, shops owned by Alex, once again, testimonial evidence. And the shops over at the left-hand side. So what I submit, Your Honor, is that if defense is using this to confirm the location of the places in 2007, then it must be more, I think it must be made clear on the record. And as for the testimonial evidence or any other indications that appear on this, that should not be on the sketch.
Mr. President, the witness was shown a sketch. He stated it was a true reflection of the layout. And in fact, I went through very carefully at least that part regarding the DO's office and the armory, the cell, and the AP lines, and the witness accepted that is an accurate reflection. So the issue of testimonial evidence is a complete red herring.
Ms. Parchman.
We have no objection.
Mr. Ken, the document will be admitted, but not calling it accurate by putting too fine a point to it. The witness has indicated what he meant by agreeing with you on this, and when the time comes, the prosecution can argue the rest of it. Okay.
I'm grateful. And witness AP office. Thank you.
The confidential document KEN D0900430543 will bear the number EVD T D0900321.
Thank you. Proceed.
Thank you. And witness, your mention of Fred Kapondi, you're aware, aren't you, that it was very big news in Kenya that Mr. Fred Kapondi had been charged before magistrates' courts in Kenya with possession of guns, warlike activities, possession of AK-47. You're aware of that, aren't you?
That was earlier, Your Honor. When he was even during the nomination, he was still in there.
Yes. And you're aware that in relation to all of those matters, he was acquitted. You're aware of that?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're aware, in fact, that the first case was dismissed at the end of the prosecution's case. Did you hear about that?
I can say that he was there talking about being released recently.
Are you aware that the second case, the prosecution sought to withdraw it, the chamber, the judges refused, and they entered an acquittal? Are you aware of that?
I'm not aware about the cases about Kapondi, Your Honor.
And are you aware that the third case, the prosecutors sought to enter, Your Honour, for the bench, and for the record, it's a nolli prosecute, but the prosecution sought to stop it, and the judges said no, and they entered a full acquittal?
I'm not talking about him, or I don't know even the details of his case, Your Honor, yes. But I can know that he was in jail.
Mr. Khan, you're talking about the case at the Magistrates Court?
Yes, of Fred Kapondi that was before the Kenyan courts.
Oh, right. Proceed.
Mr. Witness, see, what I'm saying is you got that story from the press where it was said that Mr. Fred Kapondi addressed a meeting saying he'll provide weapons, and you've simply taken that story about Fred Kapondi providing weapons and injected it into your narrative regarding the 31st of December.
It's not true, Your Honor. It is not true perfectly. You want to put the papers which I don't even, maybe I didn't read even, and you want it to be the day of I'm talking about, Your Honor.
And witness, perhaps I thought I did it, but if I haven't, and making it very clear, you're aware that Mr. Kapondi was acquitted completely in relation to that charge.
Your Honor, I'm aware, but he was acquitted, but I don't know which kind of acquittal he has.
And you're aware that many people in Kenya, and many newspapers, it's all there, even with a Google search, many newspapers in Kenya conjectured, they thought, that these cases were politically motivated in a bid to keep Mr. Fred Kapondi from standing in the 2007 elections.
Yes, already.
Did you read that, witness?
I'm not aware, and I didn't read it, Your Honor.
Because he was standing against Mr. John Serut.
I'm not aware, Your Honor.
Yes. Mr. President, perhaps we can move on to another topic. And I'd ask, if we have better luck second time, for the prosecution's exhibit to be placed on the smart board, if it's legible, otherwise we can work from a hard copy or from the Elmo. It's EVD-TDASH-OTP-00250. It's the map of Eldoret that the prosecution took the witness to at tab 66 of the prosecution's third binder.
Mr. Khan, we have an unredacted version and a redacted version of the document under e-court. Which one would you like to have?
My version, I believe, is redacted. I'll be guided by my friends can assist. Of course, I'm happy for the unredacted, but my version has 3 blocked out areas on it.
Thank you. We will then publish the redacted version.
Thank you.
Looks like there are more than 3 redacted areas in what we see on the map. On the screen, that is.
Yes, in that case, the unredacted version, please. Or the lesser redacted version.
I understand that this is just being publicized in the courtroom, correct? Yes.
Yes, witness. You remember, we can zoom in a little bit if it's possible, please. Witness, do you remember going through this map with the prosecution last week?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, you gave evidence to the court that you left your home at location number 7 at 8:30 in the morning. You remember that?
Yes, Your Honor.
And before that, you say you had been listening to the radio.
Yes, Your Honor.
And how long had you been listening to the radio?
It's only morning hours from 6.
From 6?
6 something or somewhere.
Right. So you're up for, and what time did you wake up that day? You're watching the radio from 6. What time did you wake up?
I'm always, when I'm there, waking up 6. You can open the radio whilst you're still sleeping.
Right. So you got up at 6, is that right?
I think so.
Right. And you leave location number 7 at 8:30, you told the court. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
So with the pen that you have and with the assistance of the court officer, if you could write number 1 by location 7, just write, please, with the pen, on the screen.
You say what?
If you could just mark by location 7, number 1, just put leave 8:30 a.m.
Approximate that time, Your Honor.
And just put in a circle a number 1, please.
Okay.
Yes, and then you give an account of being approached by a big group of people and being going on joining a mob, burning houses. Do you remember giving that evidence?
I can remember how I said, but I was saying I didn't join. They forced me to.
Okay, but let's move on. You talk about a time came when you left the people. Can you see that written?
Yes.
And you told the prosecution that was after, you told the court that was after about an hour. Do you remember saying that? At page 47 of the transcript on Monday. You said you spent about an hour with the youths before you sneaked away.
Yes, Your Honor.
So could you please put a number 2 there and put 9:30 a.m.
Number 2 were 9:30?
Yes, that's the time. You said you left them after an hour. So if you left your home at 8:30 a.m., it means that you left the youths, you sneaked away at about 9:30 a.m.
I cannot confirm approximately, Your Honor.
Approximately, yes.
I cannot confirm the time.
Have you written a number 2 there? 2 in a circle, as neatly as you can if possible, and it's difficult. Right. And
Mr. Ken, are we supposed to? How are we supposed to deal with this later on?
with perhaps some difficulty, Your Honours, because the writing is not that clear. Witness, can you write any clearer than that? Can we erase it and see if the witness, take your time and try to write carefully and slowly, put a number 2, and even to the right-hand side, you can do a number 2 in a circle there, where you say you left the people.
Does he have to write the time? Does he have to annotate the time on the map? Or is it enough if he marked number 1, we know it's about 8:30. Number 2, we know it's about 9:30 approximately, that sort of thing.
Mr. President, we can do it that way.
Yes.
Sometimes I think the way it's looking, that may be the best thing. So, witness, you leave the group at place number 2 that you're going to mark at 9:30, and then you give an account of going through various roadblocks down to Eldoret. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then you told the court that you ended up... Just one moment.
We need to start afresh. Can we erase the annotation? And Mr. Khan, maybe one of your assistants can also go and assist and write it more clearly.
Yes, I'll be very grateful.
Yes.
Without gratefully have the assistance of my legal assistant, Andrew Mora.
Please make sure it is legible. Thank you.
So, witness, Mr. President, I'm grateful. Witness, if you could point to the location number 7, and Mr. Mora, who's next to you, will put in number 1. And if he can write neatly, he can also put the time in, as we're doing it this way.
And let's not put the time in, just number 1.
So just number 1.
That's around here.
Yes,
I think in here or there, somewhere there.
Yes, and just a circle around it, please.
Okay.
Right. And then if you can just point to where you left the people, and that's at 9:30 a.m.
Yes.
So just write number 2.
Number 2, around here. Along the road here.
And Mr. President, I'm going to go very briefly. I didn't want to spend so long on this either, but
Clearly,
the route.
technology has its limitation,
Well,
doesn't it?
I have my limitations. I think that's more problematic. But, Mr. President, I'll take advice from the prosecution on this. I believe we can still do this in public sessions, but I'm just going to go now to another location. I think that can be done safely, I hope. So, witness, you said in testimony that at 11 a.m. you were at the Eldoret police station. Do you remember saying that?
Approximately last time.
So, if that number 3 can be put in there. And Mr. Mora, if you could please put number 2 in, where the witness pointed.
You know what? Do not bother cycling it. Just number 2 is there, and then number 3. Just
Number 3 at the police station.
Police station. Yeah, I think it's yes.
Yes. Yes. And witness. Well, let's finish the exercise. Now we've started it, and we'll see how we go. You say by 4 o'clock you're up in Ziwa. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
So if you can put 4 at 3 p.m. Put number 4 right at the top where Ziwa is. So at the top of the Ziwa highway, at the top of the page, just put a number 4, please. With the arrow, lorry, arrow, Ziwa, up there, we can just at the top of the page put a number 4. That's 3 p.m. you're in Ziwa, correct? Is that right?
Yes.
Now, witness, you give an account that after this event of 20 minutes or so, you stay behind in Ziwa, and then you start your journey back. And you say that at about 5 p.m., you see some people travelling back to Eldoret. Do you remember saying that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes. Now, where did you see these? Where did you see these vehicles?
Cannot be seen here in this map.
Is it closer to where Ziwa is?
Almost that areas.
Yes. So put also just below number 4-5, so it shows it's off the map, further to the north. Is that right, witness? Yes. Further to the north, you're gesticulating upwards.
Yes.
Is that further north?
Yes.
Yes. So put a 5 just below the 4, and that's seeing the vehicles at 5 p.m. Right?
Yes, sir. No, it's 4 is here.
5 is off the map.
Yes. And in fact, Ziwa is also off the map. Is that right, witness?
Yes.
Yes. So 4 is off the map, 5 is off the map, and the signature, the numbers are put down simply to show the timings, and the locations are off the map. Ziwa, and the vehicles that were seen are south of Ziwa. Is that right? They're closer to Eldoret.
No, going to Eldoret. I'm not saying
Yes.
exactly. Yeah.
Yes. Now, witness, you then give an account, and I won't go through it, but you say you end up back at the police station at 8 p.m. Is that right?
What was the answer?
Witness, you told the prosecution.
Yes, Your Honor.
Page 95. You ended up at the police station at 8 p.m. Right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right. Now, perhaps we can go to private session for a moment.
private session.
Yes, that's fine. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.